Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt, on the radio, on Facebook, on podcasts everywhere, on YouTube, and on talklawradio.com. Here with me today is Shannon Salmon. We've been talking about Christian nationalism. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? Is it going to destroy America, or is it just a smear campaign to suppress Christians? What do you think? Before you answer that, there's a national organization of separation of church and state.
Yeah.
And one of their tenets argues that Christian nationalism seeks to privilege white Christian symbols and policies. And so I did hear that in other places, symbols. Can Christian symbols somehow be elevated in the United States because it's what called a Christian nation? And so I wanted to ask you about that. What Christian symbols do we see even nowadays? I mean, before people were called Christian nationalists, that you would just see in the public square. Christmas trees?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so during Christmas time, we talked about this. There was a court case, the Reindeer Rule.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That said that you can have Christian symbols as long as there's other symbols in there that are secular or neutral or are put there by other religions as well.
Yeah, makes sense.
So nowadays we would see a Christmas tree with the Jewish candle holder. What do you call that?
Yeah, the menorah.
Menorah. And the reason they called it the Reindeer Rule is because you could have a Christmas tree if you had reindeer and Santa Claus and other things.
Doesn't that violate your right? Okay, let's pretend you're a judge. You're a judge over here downtown, and you want to put up a Christmas tree because you're a Christian. Don't you have a right to do that?
I think
you're making good points.
Yeah, everybody should put up whatever they want, I guess.
But then if a litigant goes in there and they see the Christmas tree, so then they're not Christian and they think, oh, am I going to get a fair shake in here?
Well, I don't like the idea that I would have to suppress my religious beliefs. And so that new court case that you were telling me about it.
Oh, the one about the
Mahood versus Taylor.
Wasn't that interesting?
Well, you know the facts.
Yeah.
Tell us.
Okay, Professor. So it's from Maryland, and it was 2025, and there was, why do I want to use the word ordinance? They probably had a better word for that. But they were going to be teaching kindergartners through 5th grade, and they wanted to incorporate LGBTQ textbooks. So issues that were, teaching kids about LGBTQ issues, but they had to give the parents an option to opt out. If for religious reasons they didn't want their children learning about, this curriculum, then they could sign a form and, I'm sure they had several fiery school board meetings about it, right? But the overwhelming majority of the parents opted out. So the school district decided, well, this isn't feasible. We're not going to allow the opt-out option anymore.
Right.
And that's when the parents sued, and it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, we do grant this injunction, so we are not going to, you are not forced to have your child learn this curriculum if you don't want that for your child. And it was based on religious reasons.
Right, because the court said that parents could raise up their kids teaching them the family religion, and that the school had no right to disrupt that.
Yeah, pretty much, in a nutshell. See, you'd be a great Supreme
And so what we were talking about before, if I was a judge, would I want to have a cross on the wall? Yes.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to suppress my own religious beliefs to satisfy the separation of church and state, I think.
You have a choice. I mean, you can choose not to be in the government, you know.
Well, but I'm not going to give up my constitutional rights no matter what job I have.
But
And I
if
think
you're
this case helps to prove or to support the idea that you can still believe, whether it's Christianity or Judaism or Islam, and
Oh, you need
still
to-
hold whatever job you have.
Okay, but I have a little pushback on that. One thing I want to say is I was talking to my friend that's a real churchgoer, and she didn't know what LGBTQ was, so I wanted to say it real quick. It's an acronym
right.
for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer questioning. And so that's just a fast way of saying that. There's even some other letters that are added on later, but that doesn't roll off the tongues.
And I don't think the argument has to be only religious for not teaching children about those types of things. I mean, we don't teach children that about heterosexual relationships, when they're in grade school.
Well, because it's just everywhere. I mean, that's very acceptable in the mainstream. So you don't. Yeah, every textbook would be heterosexual. Like every single one is going to be based on
let's
that.
Get back to.
Well, talk about what the pastor said about when he was trying to say that Islam was not a religion.
Right. If you missed Pastor Greg Young in the second segment, we were talking about another case. I was asking him about in the Michigan Dearborn area public schools. They make accommodations for halal meals for Islam students.
Yeah.
And I didn't get an answer to the question about whether it's okay to accommodate Islam if we're going to accommodate Christianity, having Christmas trees and Christmas holidays.
Right.
What I wish he would have said is that in recent years or decades, I think the government and certain political parties have been suppressing Christian accommodations. Like at school, they don't call it Christmas break anymore. They call it winter festival break. They try not to use Christian words because they didn't want it to be religious. They want it to be secular.
Okay.
So instead of Easter, they call it something else. Spring festival, spring weekend. I don't remember.
Okay. Well, but if we're talking about people's constitutional rights, and if you have a right to not have religion established by your government,
but then this school goes on a limb and says we're going to accommodate Islamic students and their halal meals and their Islamic religious holidays. But do they give equal consideration to Christianity at that school?
Right. What would the Constitution say about that? And you need to clarify, too, that you don't agree with his statement on... I mean, I guess I shouldn't back you into a corner like that, but he did say something pretty inflammatory.
Yeah, so I was shocked. I've never heard that perspective before. He said that Islam wasn't a religion, it was an ideology.
Yeah, I had not heard that either.
I guess what the radio business daddy would say is the views of our guests.
Yes, thank you. I need some of that too, please. Put that all over me.
The host and the guest.
Yes.
So yeah, I just thought this was really interesting because I've never heard of it. Another thing Pastor Young alluded to was that the Islamic community in that part of the state is higher than other populations.
Oh,
and
okay.
I did read that when I was reading about this issue.
I loved your analysis of it because it is an excellent way to kind of flesh out this issue. Because, yeah, if you believe in the Constitution, then you have to apply it to, I mean, part of your rights are that you have to, I don't want to use the word tolerate, but yeah, the Constitution is going to apply even when it's ideas you don't agree with.
Well, what we're talking about is accommodation versus establishment.
Yeah, good point.
And so some people would say in Dearborn, Michigan, it appears as though they have established a religion. Islam is being favored above Christianity. I don't know that for a fact. I haven't been there. I haven't studied the school calendar.
No, I bet if you go over there, you'll find people that say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's part of this process. You know, the courts are always having to analyze these questions.
And I appreciate you having a civil conversation with me about it, but we only have a minute left.
Okay.
So is there anything else that we should say in less than a minute about this issue of Christian nationalism? Do we know what it is yet?
Yeah, I think some people have forgotten our history, or they don't know history, and they don't know the Constitution. So they think that we should have Christianity established as a religion and that everybody should be a Christian. And, you know, these are lovely people in their personal lives, but I think they've got like a flawed philosophy, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for people like my family that are mixed faith. And if they really, really thought about it, I don't think they really want to live in a theocracy. They want to live with the freedoms we have under our Constitution, where you're free to practice your religion or not.
Because it could swing the other way.
Because it could swing the other way, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think you're a Christian nationalist.
Yay! This is Talk Law Radio. We gotta see you later. Have
bye.
A good day.
Thanks for listening.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Most families don't realize they have hidden legal blind spots until it's too late. Wills, trusts, Medicaid planning, even protecting a business. These are the kinds of issues attorney Todd Marquardt helps uncover before they become problems. Todd is the host of Talk Law Radio, where each week he guides listeners through the legal challenges families, veterans, and business owners face, while showing them the practical steps to protect what matters most. Catch Talk Law Radio, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 6:30 a.m. The Word, and now in Houston on AM 1070 and 103.3 FM The Answer, or anytime on YouTube. Planning isn't just about documents. It's about peace of mind, security for loved ones, and building a legacy that lasts. Don't wait for a crisis. Do it before you die.